Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be doing Get Good Episode 4, and I'm going to jump right into it here. So I was going to talk about bonds and what you can do with bonds, or what you should be doing, I think, with bonds as a new intermediate and advanced player. And as a beginner, I was going to say originally that you should use your bonds to buy the increased focus directive and throw that on your tanks and so on and so forth, because this is going to give you 6th sense even when your crew does not have 6th sense. And I would argue that this is probably the most important thing you can do in this game, because being spotted and knowing when you're spotted is so important. If you're trying to just play a position and somebody all of a sudden spots you, you know you're in danger. This is critical. But it turns out you actually don't even need bonds to buy this. It's credits. And I would argue that although 20,000 credits for every game definitely adds up for new players, this is still worth it. And then, once you do get 6th sense on some tanks, then you can start to look around. Like, I would argue if you want to play light tanks, and I'm not recommending that you play light tanks as a new player, but throwing a natural cover directive on there is going to give your crew a full, it's going to have, basically give you a full camo crew, even if you don't have camouflage fully trained. So after after having 6th sense, I would start to use this first. After that, then you can use natural cover for tanks that require camouflage to work properly, like light tanks or paper tank destroyers, or some paper mediums even. So that's something, you don't use bonds for this, unfortunately. That kind of blows a hole in this whole thing. But for intermediate folks that you've got a handle on the game, you like the game, you want to spend time on the game, you might have several thousand bonds from playing various different events. I would say the next thing you should be using your bonds for is premium tanks. You notice here in the store, down to the bottom, you can buy things for bonds, including some tanks. These are the various tanks that are available right now in the bond store, and I'll just give you a quick rundown. Like, the IS-5 is trash. The KV-4 Kraslovsky is okay. The Guard is okay. The T-103 is okay. IS-6 is god awful bad. Do not ever buy this. The Chrysler is not very good. The Patriot is fine. It's a fine tank. The Liberté is good. It's fine. The Mutz is okay. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's still a fine tank. And the Alpine Tiger is, again, so a lot of these you'll notice are either like middle of the road or like bad, right? And so there are not very many bad decisions here. The M60 is fun, but this is a tier 10. I wouldn't recommend like medium, like middle range, like intermediate players necessarily be getting tier 10s, because mostly I'm going to say you should be getting your tier 8s for credit grinding, or premiums for credit grinding, and tier 10s don't get you that. But the 121 is good tank. Just got buffed. It's pretty good. The FV215B is hot garbage. Please do not buy this. It's bad. It's very bad. It can do good things because the gun is good, but the platform is garbage. It's very hard to play. If you don't know what this is already, you probably shouldn't have it. The Senlac is mediocre at best. The Patton KR is trash. The IS-2S is okay. The Hydrostat is just okay. The T-34S is just okay. I mean, kind of not on. I mean, the thing about these ones is you're playing tier 5. So if you like tier 5, then that's one thing. But if you don't even bother with it. They're okay. I'm not scared of these tanks when I play them and play against them. I will say that the RBFM, the M10 RBFM, is surprisingly good. This thing, a lot of people got it for free. I think I got mine for free back in the day when they first introduced this. It'll rip you up. This thing it will surprise you with how surprisingly good this tank is. So that's kind of this is what I would use for intermediate players. Get yourself a credit grinder is what I'm trying to say. Use your bonds to get yourself a credit grinder. And then for advanced folks, when you know how to play the game and you know what you're trying to do and everything else, and you're trying to eke out that last little bit of performance in a tank, then I would say start buying equipment with your bonds. And you'll notice it's very expensive, but you'll also notice, if you pay attention here, you can show bundles. And you can buy, these two are the only available right now, but you can still buy 2 pieces of equipment for 9,000 bonds. Whereas if you bought these 2 things individually, they would cost 5,000 each. So you can save 1,000 bonds by buying these 2 kits at once. I wouldn't spend bonds on the directives like this. I don't know. They give these out, and you'll find ways to get these without spending bonds. So I wouldn't buy any of these packages, but these 2 are surprisingly good. Yes, so that's how I would spend bonds. For new players, don't worry about it. For intermediate players, get yourself a tank. And for advanced players, you're probably looking to eke out the last little bit of performance, so get yourself some equipment. And that's it. We'll keep it short. That's Get Good episode 4. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. All right, thanks. Bye.